them boards up, dudes had put in brand new boards and put it into rotting wood. You have to go within. Like on the outside, on the surface, everything, it wasn't looking that good. That's why we had to fix it. Now you gotta fix everything. It costs a little bit. You gotta get the foundation together.
Welcome to another episode of As a Man Readeth. This is Trey D.
Hey, Goolsby!
Listen, we are still reading. I think we're on, what was this, chapter 9 and 10?
Chapter 9 and 10.
9 and 10 of Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. Hopefully you've enjoyed our conversation. Hopefully you enjoyed the book. This is another big highlight chapter for me as well. So I want to make sure that we cover as much, but we gotta, at least 9 is.
Yeah.
But before I do that, man, how you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I think I'm pretty good. There's a lot going on in life, and that's, a lot is happening. So that's good that the contrast is hitting real hard. So I just have to be that eye in the calm.
For sure.
The calm.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think I'm good too, man. I think when I think about it, I was teaching yesterday, and I was telling people, I said, it's gotta be whole. You gotta have the whole. You gotta have one. If you're gonna have one, you're gonna have the other. You gotta have the whole. And I'm right in the center of the whole. There's some great things happening, some things that are not as fortunate, but it's part of life.
That's perfect. From somebody that I've talked to, talking about the difference between perfection and good.
Yeah,
we're talking about perfection, the wholeness.
It's full whole. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So, Matt, you want to go? You want to start off with a few highlights?
Man.
What you pull from?
Well, chapter 9, the rule 9 is assume that the person you are listening to might know something you don't. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna do what Jordan would do real quick. I'm about to say something and be like, what does that have to do? Trey, what do you think about advice? You know what I'm saying? What do you think advice is? What does that word even mean?
Advice. So you mean like from my own definition, or I want to go into the root of the word.
Well, I'm glad you said that. Do you ask for it? Do you get it? Is it good? Okay. How do you know? Was it worth it? Do you give it? And it can be your definition or the clinic. You don't have to give the clinical definition for it. I just want to know how you look at when you hear advice. Yeah.
Advice are still just opinions with a particular, still opinions with opinions and information from the person's perspective that's given you. And that's the way I see it. I accept advice, but I also use discernment with the advice, right? I can accept the advice, but that don't necessarily mean I agree with the advice. Does that make sense? Right? People can tell me things all the time, but I still have to use my own discernment to wisely choose to agree with it or not agree with it, move on it, or let it stay where it is.
Right. So then that leads me to say that. So what is not advice? The reason why I'm bringing, it doesn't even.
Okay.
There doesn't have to really be a reason for the not advice. But what I'm asking is, because when I hear advice, and when I think of advice, I think of someone attempting to give some type of counsel, which would be advise, right? They're advising you, and I think advise and advice are very close. But I feel like it's information being given to me for my betterment. However, I don't think advice is what. So when someone is giving what they think may be advice, actually may not. That's really where I'm going. It's like someone attempting to give the advice. You hear it, and it's kind of like, I think that's what is good for you, maybe, but maybe not for me. Now, I can take the nugget of what you're attempting to tell me. Maybe you're telling me to be consistent. I can go with consistency, or maybe sacrifice. Okay, I can sacrifice this thing. But if it's this thing where I think you should believe this because it's right, it's almost like, I don't know if that's right. But if that's what you think, good for you. And I know I'm going all the way left field, but we're gonna bring it all the way back.
No, it says. Well, so hold on. Let me. No, I'll read this. So, kind of coming into it, it is impossible to understand how much someone has to be no one at all to exist in a world where a file folder box containing 50 index pages listing dreams and novels constitute a CV. He talks about this, and I think this is in the context of this, of thinking about like how we create and construct who we are. And I think this is really important. So when we're talking about getting advice and advising, if it's not, what I try to find out and what try to hold on to, is it principled advice as well? Because some of it is principled advice. That stuff is going to last to the end of time, right? Some of it is just perception. Some of it is just perspective. Those are a little bit more relative to the time, disposition, understanding of the person. And that's where I'm coming from. So if it's principled advice, you can get advice to anybody. It is the same, and it's going to stay constant, and it's going to fall itself to be. It's going to prove itself to be true and good advice. If it's not, then it's going to be perceptive and perception, and you got to just use even more discernment to figure out where it's going to resonate.
Truth, right? So what I heard from you is like it's a universal truths, like these universal principles that show you what the truth is underneath at different levels of, as Peterson would say, resolution. You know, he talks about you have to listen, right? You have to listen, and the way he defined it, I thought it was super dope. Then he said, thinking is listening to yourself. What is true? What does it mean? What were these things I wrote down? Because I was like, okay, listening is paying attention, which is going back to what he was talking about, the eye of Horus, where attention is what you need in order to grow, to move through society. That's what the eye represents, being aware, attentive. And then thinking is listening to yourself. And I was like, ooh. Then he says thinking is very hard, because you have to kind of create an avatar within yourself to go against. You have to have two contrasting ideas having a conversation. And then you go with what I guess the best choice would be.
Right.
And I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, go ahead.
You have to have the speaker and the observer in your mind, and then also at the same time, it's almost like there's another entity that is watching the speaker and observer all at the same time. Yeah, it's weird.
Right. It's that classic TI versus TIP. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, gotta have that conversation with yourself, homie. It's like, all right. That's what this whole chapter was reminding me of. I was like, man, because each little section that he does, he kind of walks you through the way he's breaking it down. Because he says at first, not advice. Then he goes into, on page 240, he says, figure it out yourself.
Figure it out for yourself.
Then from there on 243, a listening person. Then from there, 245, how should you listen? I think, and then he goes into the primate dominance and hierarchy maneuvers and wit. So basically, and then conversation on the way, because ultimately you have to be able. Okay, this is what I was talking about, Trey, when I was having these like little mini revelations. It was like, because I have a lot of thoughts just to the point that my email address is amillionthoughts@Yahoo. I wish it would have been one big idea at Yahoo version.
Yeah.
It's so much going on. And I like that he says, well, he has so many questions. And so when you have to ask yourself these questions, then you have to answer them, is what I'm seeing. I have a lot of unanswered questions. I'll say this and be like, I'll get to that later. And I keep running back to it. Like, for example, I want these pictures. I want pictures on my wall. Every time I'm like, I'm going to have the pictures up before the
Yeah,
next meeting.
for sure.
I keep waiting until it's.
Yeah.
Did you
You're
ask a
right.
question? My bad. You paused.
No. I was listening. I was listening to you. I think that's one of the challenges. Well, I wanted to jump in about with some highlights to kind of illustrate what you were saying as well. One, how you're thinking about a lot of things and trying to bring it in, but then it also, it's about trying to get that understanding. He says in here, there's on page 240, I got a highlight here. It says that sometimes you have to change the way you understand everything to properly understand a single something. Now, I think that is very cool to really pay attention to, because everything that we believe the way I read it also is how we actually see is usually an aggregate of everything that we believe that we know. So now sometimes we have to, and that means we may not even know and again, we don't even know what we don't know. Right. So it may be like he's saying, you may have to reevaluate all the things that we know or we believe that we understand, so that we can actually get to a place of. So I think this felt like a very divine statement, and maybe he didn't even know that, but I think that is absolutely true. Especially, as we working through Holy Week and thinking about and the way the New Testament is written and how the Bible is written in certain ways that you have to look at it. Well, I'll do it that way. How the story of Christ basically talks about you got to change the way you understand everything so that I can give you this real thing, this real truth is on the other side of you shifting what you thought. And matter of fact, that's when he talks about repentance is really about changing your mind. That's we don't talk enough about that, but it's about changing your mind. Then he goes into renewing your mind. Like it's a lot in there about like how you are shifting your thinking and getting out the stinking thinking that got you in this place where you are right now. But I digress.
Well, it's good. That goes into my notes, because he was saying that people love to figure out. Sorry. He's saying people have to figure out what they are thinking, and he was like, "How do you do that? Because you have to figure that out." And he says, talking with somebody who can listen. Maybe that's a avatar you can create within. I mean, you and I kind of do this on our podcast, but we also do it individually, as well. So we can help crystallize the ideas that are in our mind. And then he said, how do you know when to say something? He said, you got to get in the right frame of mind, first of all. Then you have to aim properly. Oh, I like that. And then he says, I want things to be better, genuinely. So once you can get into that frame of mind, it's so funny, because we're working on the pavilion in my neighborhood, right? A couple years ago, they put some boards down. 2 or 3 years ago, put some boards down. I wasn't here I came on that back end of it happening. And I remember the boards just out in the like from underneath the pavilion, there's a large open area that's not underneath it. And so that gets weathered and dampened and all that. And when they were fixing it, I just remember, it's raining. The wood is out. This don't look good. But I had nothing to do with what was going on.
Yeah.
But I'm a part of it because it's in my community. Anyway, we have decided to go ahead and renovate it. Man, dude, we rebuilding it. They pulled them boards up. Dudes had put in brand new boards and a couple years ago and put it into rotting wood. Yeah. It is horrible. So, but that is what makes me think of, you have to go within. Like on the outside, on the surface, everything, on the surface, it wasn't looking that good. That's why we had to fix it. And then you go underneath, and now you got to overhaul and fix everything. Yeah, it's going to cost a little bit. But now we got to get the foundation together. And to me, I feel like the mold and the rot was the lie. So let's get to the truth.
Yeah.
And fix the foundation.
Yeah. It's portrayed. That's good, bro. Portraying itself as of having integrity, portraying itself of being in good condition, portraying itself of being able to hold up the whole, portraying itself as a good foundation, and something that you can build upon. And the truth of the matter is, not at all. So how do we look at that as ourselves? Like you're saying, what's in us right now that we believe is like holding on, or that may be a good foundation, but it really is just rotten boards. Oh, you just preached. You just preached just then, bro. That's good.
Hey, man. Yeah. And so I got a good community. Because we're gonna have to get that together, because ultimately, going back to one of the other rules, he was talking about sacrifice. And so we sacrifice now to have something better tomorrow, because a couple years ago, they did not sacrifice. They did not sacrifice. Tried to get away with it. I don't know what they paid for to go in and probably find out, but I'm sure we didn't. So now we got to pay for it.
Well, that also reminds me of like, how do we make sure that our foundation is strong, and we're building resilience with the attempts, with the forward attempts, moving forward attempts that allow for us to be resilient, right? If the canopy and the space wasn't resilient because the foundation wasn't right, it's very difficult for us to be resilient if our foundation isn't good. If we're building on the wrong sand, we're building on the wrong land, or we're building with the wrong material, hey man, it's gonna be a problem later on. It may look pretty, but it's not gonna last.
Well, it may, but from the outside looking in, I'm telling you, when you pass our neighborhood, we have this we had this gate up on the other end, and it's like, what's all them weeds? It was pushing the gate down. Anyway, so it's indicative of us as a community. Just like your physical behavior and actions also translate, and your words translate what you look like, what you believe. Usually, he says, if you listen to people, they'll tell you everything you need to know. Everything. So I got to be very careful with my words. That's what I'm also realizing.
I hear that. You got to be precise in your speech. Is that what you're saying, sir? Which is rule number 10.
Yeah, that is rule number 10. Being precise with your speech. Man, let me tell you something. I think you and I spoke about something earlier this week, and I wanted to see if how it lands today, which was, remember he said something about listening to the crowd. You got like if you're saying something that, hold on, let me see. Did I write it down? I had to write it down.
Yeah, I had some. I know I had some quibbles with it.
Yeah, it was a quibble.
I did.
Hold on. Right. I don't know if it's actually in it, but it all rolls into each other. Because this was the chapter where he started off. Well, we'll come right back to that. But it started off with, he was talking about what the utility of a computer was. Like, why is your computer obsolete? I think that's how he named it. He says, why is my laptop obsolete? So for the folks who haven't read the book yet, he's inquiring about, well, what is a laptop? Well, it's a metal container that has a screen on it and a keyboard. And over time, it, like an old Macintosh you might have, an old IBM computer that just sits there, it's no longer usable. It was usable at a time, but that's because you could plug it up into something. It's connected to a series of networks that allows you the capability of using it. So I can email, I can check online, I can do all these things. But over time, it uses the utility. Compares it, he makes it akin to a leaf, a fallen leaf off of a tree. If you rub that leaf, it's like, okay, yeah, it's a leaf. But then over time, it perishes. It's gone because it's no longer connected to that limb that's connected to that branch, which is connected to the tree, which is connected to everything around it, that lifeblood. So what is it really? What like do you really understand the complexity of all the systems that are in play to make you comfortable in this world? Because once that computer goes out, it's like control alt delete, control alt delete. Okay, that's all I know. But the mechanisms that make it work, you know, car breakdown, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
Car breakdown, you check the oil.
Ensues. What'd you say, Trey?
I said, your car breakdown, you check the oil. Like, that may be it. That may be it, but I don't think that's it. You got some other challenges here. Yeah.
Right. You probably shouldn't check the oil if your car breaks down. First of all, let me say that. You gotta let it cool.
Yeah, you let it cool off. You probably should have checked the oil a couple months ago. That's a point. That's a point. That's a point. A little too late. But yeah.
Oh man.
But but that conversation that I remember was having was about, I think his quote was about listen to the crowd. And I was like, nah, I'm not going to listen to all. I'm not going to always listen to the crowd. Because he was saying that it has, the crowd sometimes has vital information. I was like, most of the time, you remember that part?
Yeah. I'm actually trying to find where it is.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm listening.
So for our listeners, the conversation was about listening to the crowd. And my thought was, most of the time, the crowd is not necessarily fully informed. And that's, and also this also branches from something that one of my old mentors used to told me, rest in peace. He used to say, every time that you're on the side of the majority, just pause and watch, because you may be missing something. And that was something to pay attention to. And we think about every leader, every hero that we love, every person that is in that space that we give platitudes to, that we laud. They are not normal people. They are not part of the crowd. They are outliers. Right. They are rebels. They are those that go against the grain. And I think the majority of folks, matter of fact, the statistics say that majority of people don't go against the grain. They like to be comfortable and chill. They do not necessarily want to be in these spaces where they go against certain things. So that's why I was I'm not listening to no crowd.
Right. Now, he did say, I can't find exactly where it is, but I remember going in and looking at it, because I was like, man, Trey has a point there. But then I said, oh, the spirit of it hit me, because he named the type of crowd listener that it was. He didn't say informed crowd listener, but it was like, but I was thinking like, okay, it's almost like if you and I started having a conversation about pronouns right now. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, for some reason, it's this touchy thing. But it feels like,
I hear it.
A lesson we learned in our generation coming up, and I don't want to make it a generational thing. However, it may come that way. I was in 3rd, 4th grade. Remember they used to roll in the TV? You had your, I forgot what they called it, but they would roll in the TV with the VCR and then put in a video, and you got to watch videos. I'll never forget, we watched a series of myths, fables, and stuff like that. One was Princess and the Pea. The lady was on like 10 mattresses, and she could still feel the pea.
Oh yeah, and
at
the
pea,
very bottom. She could still feel the pea. Yes. Yes.
She could still feel it. And then the second one was the Emperor's New Clothes. Never forget it, because I was like, well, he ain't got no clothes on. But everybody was like, no.
Yep.
He was naked, walking down the street with everybody. Everybody's like,
we do that a lot.
What are we looking at? But the kid told the truth. He just said, he's naked. And I think he might have represented the crowd, because I think after he said that, people were like, I think they started laughing. And then the king, I think that's how that ended. I don't remember. But I do remember the truth.
No, you thought the kid was representing the crowd?
What I'm saying is, I think he represented it once he spoke what he said. He didn't initially. What I'm saying is the crowd was going along with it until the truth was spoken. I think.
Well,
I hate that I brought it up and don't know the end of the story.
Yeah, but I think in that story, it is the emperor has those emperor's new clothes. I think, yeah, the crowd is just going along with it because
Correct.
of because also of the influence of the person
The king
as well,
and the
the
royal.
king,
Right.
right? And so they have all agreed. The powers that be
Mm-hmm.
have agreed that this is good. This is great. It is fashionable. The social media influencers have said that they have given it 5 stars, will recommend. They have gone and reviewed the new clothes. They say, hey man, this is the
Right.
trendiest thing ever. Everybody need to get on it. And the problem is
Uh-huh.
somebody need to say, with the innocent eyes of a child, hey man,
Right.
he butt ass naked out here.
Right.
No, he's. You know what? I've been wanting to, because how many times we get into these spaces or we get into conversations, it's like, oh, man, I've been waiting on somebody else to say it. I've been waiting on somebody else to say it. But I've been thinking
I'm
it
waiting on
and
somebody.
nobody wanted to say it. I've been waiting on somebody else to say it. I was at a
Mm-hmm.
session yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
bro, and I
Okay.
was saying, hey,
Uh-oh.
try not to be the try not to be the second person to ask the question, because I always
Mm.
say that the question that you may be holding may be also holding the answer and yielding the answer that everyone in this room needs. So,
Right.
but we just go with the flow. We just go with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no, we can't keep allowing these things to occur. So I like for those of us that can just start being precise with our language and going back to the
Right.
book. Make sure that we're being
Right.
precise with our speech and language. We
Mm-hmm.
talk, we even talk about this when we give it compliments. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like, hey,
Mm.
you're doing your thing.
Right. Look at you. Look at you.
Hey,
That's my new
look
thing.
at
Look at
you
you.
showing up. You are
Yeah.
showing up. Yes, you are.
Right.
You know,
Got to change
try
life.
to be accurate. I got to give the accurate affirmation. If I don't like it, I'm not gonna say I like it. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Right.
And that probably takes a little bit of maturity and growing up too, because I think sometimes we don't want to offend. Not that I want to offend, but I also don't want to lie more so than I don't want to offend.
That's the biggest thing that I'm noticing. I've had to. I don't even know if I've been apologizing. I've been taking back my words a lot the last couple of weeks. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that at all. But that's what he says in this chapter too. Say what you mean so that you can figure out what you mean. I like it. Just
Yeah.
made all the sense. Say what you mean so you can figure it out. Because when you don't say what you don't mean, you get further away from where you want to get to. You're practicing
Yes.
not being what you want to be.
You remember when Wallace talked about that? Again, we're going back into, if we're not saying what we want to say, that means we're not thinking the way we want to think. That's
Bro.
my tie-in right now.
Yeah. You've been on that Wallace. Hey, but I feel that though. I feel that. Think how you want to
Yeah.
think. It's the hardest work. Jordan breaks it down too. Thinking is very hard to do because you have to learn
Yeah.
how to listen, which must mean listening must be challenging. I like he brings up the activity that I do with Kareem, and she finally did it on her end to me. Okay, so let me say what it is. The thing was, if before we get into a deep disagreement about whatever it is, we have to define what the other person is saying back to them. They have to say, yeah, that's right, or no, it's this. And then before you say it's this, let me repeat that, what you just said. Okay, so you're saying that you want to, I want to give a real one that's really liked. I did not scoop the kitty litter for the cat. That's what you're saying, and that upsets you. No, it doesn't upset me. What I'm saying is it irritates me.
Okay.
So irritating and upsetting.
Good.
No,
Emotional literacy.
Right. So now we got to define, well, what's irritation versus upset? That's what me and my ex-wife used to get into. Frustrated. She was like, frustration, irritation, and anger or upset is 3 different things. I was like, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
But it took me some maturity to be like, they are different.
Absolutely.
And I had to take the time to understand what frustration is versus irritant is versus annoying is. But I didn't have that high resolution type vocabulary, nor was I aware of my feelings. I'm happy, mad, sad. That's
Right.
I had 3 emotions
I get
for a very long time.
I get it. And the majority of people don't have that language either. So, never
Right.
seen a feelings wheel, never even explored their own emotional literacy. But the cool thing about it, once we actually even understand how to pinpoint what actual emotion we are experiencing, because we can properly address it. We can have the proper strategy or the proper tactic to actually address that particular emotion.
Yes.
So I'm with you on that. But that rule that y'all use is on page 246. If anybody, he talks about this as well. He says 246, which is actually in the Rule 9 section. He suggests that his readers conduct a short experiment for the next time they find themselves in a dispute. First of all, stop the discussion for a moment and institute this rule. Each person can speak up for himself only after he has restated the ideas and feelings of the previous speaker accurately and to the speaker's satisfaction. He says, I found this technique very useful in my private life and in my practice. And I will tell you personally, from a trade standpoint, I've also found this technique very useful in my practice and in my private life. And I'm glad we are all using this, because the worst thing is to think we have communicated well and haven't. That is hilarious sometimes.
Right. I did not say that. That is not what I meant. Oh, well, for me, that's what I'm learning for me. It's a meant thing for me. I did say, she'll say everything I say. I was like, oh, but I didn't mean that. This is what I meant. What you didn't say that. And I was like, shit, I didn't. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So even in her restating what I said, I'm like, oh,
yeah,
get clear, bro.
Yeah.
So these words. Go ahead.
Yeah, there it is. Keep going.
No, I'm just saying words. If you can master words, now I'm understanding. You remember back in the day, it was like Chris Rock had that joke talking about if you got anything to hide from a nigga, because
yeah,
niggas don't read, And I was like, wow, if you understand how to communicate, Jordan's right. It does make it dangerous. And now I understand, because if I can communicate exactly what it is you are doing to me, and now I know you know that I know you know, let's make it happen. Because I know what's happening. I get it. People do not tell you.
Right.
You have to ask the right question.
No.
Oh, you didn't ask that. Yeah, I know. Now I am. So, my money. Or whatever
I think the best questions, if we can all learn how to have the best inquiry of a life. I think it produces a better product for life as well. So, we got to ask the right questions all the time of ourselves, of others, of life itself, and we get better answers.
The timing of them too.
You're right.
It's like comedy too. It's like if you time them questions just right. Somebody says something, you can use these in restaurants when a waiter says, can you give me just a moment? But it's already been 15 moments. And it's like, no more moments. Let me go ahead and that first question, I'm the first time you give me a second, I'm gonna go ahead and ask the question real quick. Cause I see you, I'm observing the arrangement. I'm gonna know what to ask. I need to know something real quick or whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Because there are tactics that people use to either waste time. Like I go to this particular bar every now and then, and there's this woman back there. She ain't doing nothing. I was like, why is she even back there? Now the other two working their butts off, and and then it's rude. And I'm like, what? Why are you back? Who is she? Do y'all split the tips? Because I just want to tip y'all.
Possibly.
Right.
Possibly. They tip out.
She's like, they gonna do the work. I'm good. I'm sitting there. That ain't my business. That's going into another rule. So let me not go off subject. So let me. I want to kind of close on this. He says, and I said this earlier, but I want to say it all together. Act out what you say so that you can find out what happens. Then pay attention. Note your errors. Then anticipate them, then strive to meet them. Oh, correct them. Man, I can't read my own writing. Hold on. Because it's at the very end of this chapter. And I was like, let me write this down because if I didn't read anything else, this is probably the most important thing of this chapter. Here it is. He says, say what you mean so that you can find out what you mean. Act out what you say so you can find out what happens. Then pay attention. Note your errors. Articulate them. Strive to correct them. That is how you discover the meaning of your life. That will protect you from the tragedy of your life. How could it be otherwise?
Keep going. I think you should go with that. I think you should go with that. Keep going.
I'm going to just finish it. Confront the chaos of being. Take aim against the sea of troubles. Specify your destination and chart the course. Admit to what you want. Tell those around you who you are. Narrow and gaze attentively and move forward forthrightly. Be precise in your speech.
Right on.
And when all that, as I was just saying that, all I could see was I saw sports stars. I saw Michael Jordan. I saw Tom Brady. I see these people who get into this mode like, I'm going to win this game. I don't care what no one else is doing around me. I'm focused up. It's time to go.
It's exactly the focus we need to be. We need to, I would say, if we can be precise in our speech, I think we can be precise with our thinking. We can be more precise with our speech. I'll hold there. I think that's really important. Yeah, we're almost there, man. We're almost at the end of this book. The next one is actually do not bother children when they are skateboarding, and that's a very cool chapter, especially for us that have young people that we're raising.
Yep, and then you can pet a cat after that. Pet a cat when you see one in the street, something like that, I think. And it's like, what do these mean? What do these mean? However, I just want people to take away, look at life like, I look at life like it's a game, and not a game in the sense like it's like, no, I look at it, I'm very competitive when it comes to games. And so I think games are fun because I'll put my whole into it. Now, I'm not the one that's going to fight over a game. It may seem like it. I'm not fighting. It's just, you just get into the game of it all. And so I think life is like that. I really want to live life with zest. I want to live it with some passion. I want to care about life. If I'm just a guide into life, not saying I'm not, or not saying that I am, but if people look at it negatively, that, let me be precise. All I'm saying is if you are in the God mode in a game, it's not fun anymore because you can do everything and nothing can stop you. And where is the challenge in it all? So that's what we're doing now. This podcast is here now, and I'm gonna play this. I don't know when again, but this clip will be iconic because I'm calling it right now. As a matter of
that's all we got to say. Hey man,
Trey, that's got me thinking about your video.
Oh no. It is. I got a bunch of videos that should not be produced anymore. Listen, this is Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life is what we're reading right now. This is Trey D.
And
So, and we want you to keep on reading, and Goolsby wants you to all right, y'all. We'll see y'all. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit a comment for us. We'd love to continue the conversation. Peace.